Once upon a time, in a peaceful little village, there lived an old woman. Everyone in the village loved her. She was kind, wise, and always had a warm smile on her face. No matter what happened, she always seemed happy. People often came to her to ask for advice, to share their worries, or just to talk. Her presence alone made people feel calm and hopeful.
One day, a young man from the village came to visit her. He looked curious and asked, "Grandmother, you're always happy, no matter what happens. Don't you ever feel sad when things go wrong?" The old lady smiled gently and said, "My dear, life is full of ups and downs. Some days are good and some days are bad. But I've learned that happiness comes from inside, not from what happens around us." The young man frowned. "What do you mean? How can you be happy when bad things happen?"
The old woman looked into the distance and began to tell her story. "When I was young, I had a loving husband and beautiful children. We didn't have much, but our hearts were full. One day, my husband became very sick. We tried everything, but we couldn't afford the medicine he needed. And soon, he passed away." Her eyes softened as she continued. "It was the saddest time of my life. I cried for days. I thought I would never smile again. But then I looked at my children. They needed me. I realized that staying sad wouldn't bring my husband back. So I decided to live differently. I chose to be thankful for what I still had, instead of mourning what I lost."
The young man listened quietly, deeply moved. "Young man, but how did you do that? How did you find happiness again?" The old lady smiled and said softly, "Every morning when I wake up, I tell myself, today is a new day, and I will find one reason to be happy. Sometimes it's the sunlight coming through my window. Sometimes it's a flower blooming in my garden. Sometimes it's the laughter of a friend. Even the smallest thing can make your heart smile, if you let it." The young man nodded, still thinking. "But what about when something really bad happens? How can you still stay happy then?" The old woman took a deep breath. "It's not always easy, but I remind myself that everything passes, even the bad times. When something painful happens, I tell myself, this too shall pass. I focus on the good things I still have, my health, my friends, and the simple gift of being alive. Happiness is a choice. You can focus on the bad and stay sad, or you can choose to see the good and stay grateful. It's not easy, but it's always possible." The young man thanked her for her wisdom. From that day on, he tried to live by her words. He began to look for something good in every situation, no matter how small, and slowly his life began to change. Even when things went wrong, he found peace in the little things. Soon, the old lady's words spread throughout the village. People began to understand that happiness isn't about money or luck. It's about how you see life. And over time, the whole village became a happier, kinder place. All because one wise woman shared her secret.
Happiness doesn't depend on what you have. It comes from how you choose to see life. No matter how hard things get, remember this: True happiness begins within you.